Welcome to the Nuggets Inc. podcast, presented by no one. I'm your host, Matt Schubert, joined once again by Bennett Durando. We've got a lot to talk about. Training camp right around the corner. Valanciunas is showing up. Is he going to be happy? Is he going to be sad? All sorts of other new additions. What a fun time to be a Denver Nuggets fan. We also do our annual NBA wins draft. I got a heck of a team. Aaron, we'll see. All that and more coming up next. And we are back at the Denver Post podcast studios. Nuggets Inc. returns after a, 6-7 week absence. I'm not quite sure how long we were away, but it was a bit. In that time, I got a new car. Bennett lost his appendix. Aaron, what happened to you? Anything significant over the last 6-7 weeks?
No.
Okay, well.
You broke an all-time record?
Oh, that's right. You broke a world record on one of the local mountains.
Many. According to you, this is undocumented, so we're going to have to take Aaron's word for mountain biking on a certain local
on the Hogsback. Which one was it?
Look, I've played basketball with Matt.
It's true.
I've seen him hunched over in pain after one game, mid-court, trying to catch his breath.
What are you trying to do here?
I've walked hills with Bennett around San Francisco and other type of cities.
Who pronounces San Francisco that way?
Me and Bennett.
Are you about to say that I've been tired, or what are you trying to say?
Pretty pink in the face.
Oh, my God.
So I won't stand for this aggression.
Okay, well, record-breaking, appendix removal, new automobile for myself, and new phone.
Oh, wow.
That's right. I got an iPhone 16, which, let me tell you, I was at a 7 before this. Things have changed in the time since the 7 to the 16.
The last phone wasn't a Motorola?
It was not. It was not.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost my appendix between the 7 and the 16 among those things.
Unbelievable.
But let me just recommend, if you're going to lose your appendix, do it, somewhere with immediate access to...
Not in a rural Michigan?
A hospital, not at a cabin near a lake in northern Michigan where you will have to go from one hospital to another 50 minutes away for the operation.
Why didn't you just do it at the cabin?
I guess that was an option.
Why didn't you just remove it yourself?
Nobody offered. I have no doubt that either of you would have offered.
Yeah,
had you been in that situation. And that's what makes this podcast so great. So,
well, nothing happened with the Nuggets. It's been pretty quiet since then. I believe no new signings except for a two-way addition. They still have a 15th roster slot open and ready should they want to use it. Russell Westbrook's still out there.
I think if they were going to use that roster spot on Russell Westbrook, they probably would have done that by now already.
You think so? Okay.
I think if anyone is still clamoring for that, you can rule it out. I'm just going to maybe nip that one in the bud at this point.
Camp starts next week. Nikola Jokic in Eurobasket, as well as Big Val, also in Eurobasket. Jokic went toe-to-toe with Şengün. Some might
you mean vice versa.
Some might say Şengün got the best of him at Eurobasket.
Indeed.
Still, some amazing passes, viral videos to come out of that from Nikola Jokic. Looks like he's just fine.
Yeah. I think there's at least a corner of Nuggets Twitter that's concerned about his defensive mobility, but when are Nuggets fans not a little concerned about that?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been something that's ever been rock solid.
Yeah,
he's a fine defender. He's fine. He puts his hands in the right spots. He is able to anticipate moves. You get what you get. He's not going to be Wemby, but he's also not going to be, pick a really bad defensive center.
Teams will try to pick on him in space. That is a fact of life. I don't think it's a new revelation this summer. Nonetheless, a disappointing outcome for Serbia, who pretty much had, all or nothing expectations in that tournament. So to crash out in the round of 16.
Tough one.
Yeah.
How about Germany?
Man, Schroeder, what are your thoughts on Hall of Fame with him?
Well, if you go off of his international resume, he's certainly got that taken care of.
I kind of think he belongs. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Correct.
So.
And he's got a great international resume.
Yeah.
He's been, I would say, a good NBA player.
Yeah,
I think
of course.
good. You can say good. Not great, but good. Probably the second best German to ever play in the NBA at this point. I know that at some point Franz will overtake him.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't been in the league long enough.
We'll see what our true opinion of Schroeder is in this episode, depending on where the Sacramento Kings get drafted in our, now annual wins draft. So I'm sure that you'll be rushing to take them in the top 10.
Can't wait.
Just because of Dennis.
Yeah, so for those that aren't aware, we are going to be doing our annual wins draft here at the latter half of the podcast. Last year, Bennett won. I was second. Aaron, a distant third, had to buy donuts today for everybody. So that was his punishment. I believe that is now the way things will work from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Winner,
pretty high stakes.
Winner gets to pick the donut place. Third place buys the donuts. Second place is just here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
although I didn't actually get to pick
that's
the donut
true.
place.
That's true. That
end,
got usurped from you as well. Yeah.
In the future, though, I'd like to make that part of the deal.
I'm not driving out of my way.
If only to make Aaron drive down to the east side of Colfax to the bakery known as Good Bread to get their wonderful donuts. So
you used to be an East Colfax person. You used to be an East Denver person.
Love East Denver.
Fantastic place.
Going there today to do a service call.
Oh,
gosh, so out of the way.
All right, so before Nuggets camp, this will be, I would say, one of the more interesting media days, just because there's new faces. You have a new coach in the sense that this is the first time he's officially the head coach. He's no longer an interim, David Adelman. You have new leadership in the GM, the co-GM slot. I don't know, whatever we call that.
I'm still figuring it out myself. There are official titles that I just don't even care to memorize that much because it's, I don't know, just a little superfluous. I feel like, they're GMs.
But a new era, kind of, even with many of the same players involved. Nikola Jokic obviously being one of them, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. But Cam Johnson's here. Valanciunas is here. Hardaway is here. Mm-hmm. Bruce Brown, who I believe you went to a Brucey B event last night.
I did. It was delightful to see Bruce Brown. Very friendly person. It was a wine and dinner event at a very well-off home in the foothills, sort of outside of Littleton. Got to talk to Bruce. Good to see him. He sort of spoke to the group of people there with Mark Spears, speaking of the Hall of Fame, the great former Denver Post Nuggets writer, now at ESPN and Anscape. Mark Spears, Naismith Hall of Famer. So shout out to him as well. And it was a great event. And Bruce, to that sort of small group of people, he sort of talked about the Nuggets as though they were an ex that he really wanted to get back together with.
That wasn't hard to see over the last 2 years.
This isn't verbatim. It wasn't like this was a recorders out type of event, but he essentially said, once I got traded to the Pelicans last season, I was thinking about Denver the entire time I was there.
It kind of strikes me
of that season.
Like Bruce Brown and the Nuggets. Like the Nuggets stayed home for college, and Bruce Brown went to like an Ivy League school. And the whole time he was like, "Oh, I really miss my old high school girlfriend.
Yeah, sure. If the analogy stops at if the Ivy League schools were paying him the tuition instead of vice versa during those couple of years.
On scholarship. He's on scholarship.
He's on a big scholarship at the Ivy League, and now he's coming back, to his hometown. Not actually his hometown, but it's kind of his adopted home. Mm-hmm. And he was even at a playoff game, as we remember, against the Clippers. And another thing that he said last night was that he wanted to be at that game in part to make a statement and to make it clear to the front office that he wanted to return to Denver, and that was
I think
something he was pretty highly interested in. Like there was strategic motivation to that going into his offseason, and he had contract offers from multiple other teams in the West. He had at least one offer that was more lucrative than the minimum he got offered by Denver. But I think he really has fallen in love with the lifestyle in the city. And when you kind of take those things into account, pretty easy to see why he's such a fan favorite, because that's not necessarily a common attribute in NBA players, like loving Denver as much as he does.
He had the money. He didn't have the location. And now he's decided, I've made my money. I'm coming back to be happy.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it is only a 1-year deal, so, who knows what's next. But I think,
Sort of like the anti-Valanciunas.
Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't really thought of it that way. Yeah, get me anywhere other than the United States seems to be his point of view, or at least it was his point of view, maybe, in early July. I think that's probably going to be maybe the most interesting little subplot at Media Day coming up, just him speaking to American reporters for the first time since that story, which was also sort of a non-story because nothing actually changed after the trade. But just where's his state of mind going to be? He hasn't had that second remaining year on the contract guaranteed. Is that something that's still on his mind? Does he want that from the Nuggets? Does he want to be able to go to Europe next year and have this sort of be his NBA swan song after sort of moving around so much from New Orleans to Washington to Sacramento, now to Denver, all in the last couple of seasons? Kind of a little bit of an unusual series of events for him after he was sort of a staple in a couple of cities where he had played for the first decade of his career. So definitely an interesting sort of just state of mind. Where are you at with playing here? Topic
and being a backup.
Going into that. And being a backup, yeah. That's
one of the more unenviable backups positions.
Mm-hmm.
Very few have thrived as a Jokic backup. I think Plumlee would probably be the only one you would say did.
You want to throw DeMarcus Cousins in there?
No.
Yeah, no, it's kind of the most unsavory job in the NBA almost as far as singular players go. And I think Valanciunas is still good enough to at least be a low-end starter in the NBA. Like, he played pretty well, was a very good scorer at Eurobasket this summer for Lithuania. So, yeah, there is a little bit of a dynamic to that as well. But he was coming off the bench at least last year. So this isn't the first time that he'll be fully entrenched as a backup at least. So that part, he's had a chance to sort of acclimate to that situation in the NBA. But, some guys just like to play. Like, obviously you get into basketball because you like to play basketball. It's a fun sport to play. It's easy for us to kind of overlook that. And sometimes it's not even like an egotistical thing to want to be a starter or to want to play more. It's just that playing is fun, and the more that you can play, the more enjoyment you're getting out of the game that you've committed your life to. So, I'm curious just sort of what some of the mental stuff like that is in terms of where, he was in July to where he is now, and what he sort of wants from this year and the future with Denver. It'll be one of the preeminent storylines, I would say.
Michael Porter Jr.'s had a fun offseason.
That's true.
Get a microphone in front of that guy. Fireworks. Can you believe, like, he
don't know what to say.
He had his moments in Denver, but it feels like he had just been like stockpiling munitions for when he could leave Denver and just let it rip.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess there's just a lot of podcasts in New York. And so he had a lot of opportunities to just start firing off takes about things that people wanted to hear about, and quite a lot of things that people didn't necessarily want to hear his opinion about as well. He obviously, I don't think he cares too much about the criticism that comes with all of this, clearly. So
admire the confidence.
Yeah, I guess so. I remember, gosh, he made a comment about female pay equity in the WNBA relative to the NBA, and I asked him about it and some of the blowback that he had gotten online from WNBA players. I think this is the year before last season.
Yeah,
and he was basically like, "Oh, I wasn't aware that there was any, blowback on that." But so he's going to say what he's going to say, and that's who he is. It's interesting, I guess, that the floodgates really opened up after he left Denver more so, but I don't really know what else to say about it. I guess it's probably disappointing, honestly, to a lot of Denver fans, particularly LGBTQ fans who would feel alienated by some of the comments he's made about that sort of stuff. That's pretty disappointing. And so I guess I don't really want to make light of some of that stuff when you've had people who've cared about him as a player and felt emotionally invested in him. But also I think that he relishes the opportunity to be a provocateur. So that seems to be part of this whole sequence of events with the podcasts and stuff like that this offseason. So
it definitely goes into his persona.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. Cam Johnson, not quite the same guy.
Definitely more. I think is soft-spoken the right word? Because he's. It's not like he's an introvert necessarily. No. I think he's outgoing and but he's definitely very careful and sort of considerate thinker about what he says, I think. So it's kind of an interesting little dichotomy between those two.
North Carolina education. Not that Mizzou.
Uh-huh.
Well, I got 1 year of Mizzou, 6 months of Mizzou.
Okay, so I think it was 2 years of UNC for Cam Johnson. So,
and Pitt before that. I think Pitt's a pretty good school, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know much about Pitt's academic credentials, but
yeah, no Carnegie Mellon, but not bad.
Yeah, I'm excited about getting to cover Cam Johnson. From the media perspective, I think that he's has a very eloquent reputation and seems to care about sort of the trends around the NBA and a lot of the stuff that sort of becomes fodder for talking points in the media. And he wants to be thoughtful in his sort of diagnosis of certain situations or problems with the league or various things like that, instead of sort of leaning into a hot take sort of approach to it. So I'm
some fun personalities between him, Bruce Brown. Mm-hmm. It seems like Tim Hardaway Jr. is kind of fun too.
Yeah,
going to be a different dynamic this year for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be. Just speaking from a beat writer perspective, I'm definitely excited to, cover a locker room with new faces and people who have some interesting personalities and all that. So we'll see. Media Day will be fun. I think, obviously, Cam Johnson's the only one who's formally spoken, I think,
right,
to the media so far. But like you said, Hardaway, Bruce, everyone's just going to eat up everything that he has to say, I think, about returning. And then Valanciunas, obviously, just being sort of as noteworthy as he was in the aftermath of the trade in July. And then guys returning, like there's some interesting stuff with Jokic, who, declined the player option, or not the player option, the contract extension.
For reasons probably that aren't, what people fear, I would say, right?
Absolutely. That is what I fully would expect him to say, unless he wants to be coy about it, which, I guess you never can say for sure with Jokic how he might choose to address or not address something. But the reality of this, as I was just writing, in fact, in this sort of biggest storylines going into Media Day, is the fact that other front offices see that and they lick their chops about, oh man, player option in 27, same year as Giannis. Maybe we can,
good luck with that.
Target him and have this flexibility that offseason, and one of these superstars comes our way, particularly, the teams in California, I think, to get ambitious about that. Our friend Sam Amick has basically written as much in The Athletic and has included Jokic in that sentence with Giannis. So as unreasonable as it may be, it is something that other front offices do think about when they see this type of thing. So it is kind of a storyline, even if it's a little bit of a goofy one.
I forgot there was something that happened with the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic's agent was on a boat in the Mediterranean with LeBron James and Rich Paul, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Rich Paul was there.
Was it not? Was Rich Paul not?
I don't remember. There was an Instagram post with Mishko and LeBron. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. People had fun with that one. You wouldn't believe Lakers fans were somehow all of a sudden throwing all sorts of theories out there.
Yeah. And
big shock.
And photoshopped jerseys onto certain Denver players.
Yes. Yeah. You gotta love Lakers fans. They're a wild bunch.
Another fact of life. You just have to, if you're a Nuggets fan and you're letting that stuff get to you, get offline. That's my advice to you, I guess.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to address before we get into our wins draft here?
Just that I'm fascinated to see sort of the mood around the team going into Adelman's first camp. And
this feels like the best offseason they've had in years. Like maybe since they traded for KCP and signed Bruce Brown, right? That would have been the last time there was this much excitement, I think.
Definitely externally. And I'm curious to see like how that translates to sort of inside their walls as training camp gets started in San Diego, just because, do they feel that same sort of, opportunity of the championship window feeling as reopened as it has been since 23. There's also something to the fact that Adelman has now had a full off season to prepare and kind of set his culture and, think about the ways that he wants to do things as a head coach, not just as an offensive coordinator. And so, that stuff is always interesting just to kind of see the vibe and personality of a team when there's been so much change early on. The other thing is rookie extensions. Still waiting on those.
Oh yeah,
1 month
right.
to go.
That's right.
I'm not surprised that they have not been signed yet.
Christian Braun has not been locked up.
Christian Braun, I would be surprised if he does not reach an extension agreement before the beginning of the season. The deadline is the last day of the offseason. These things can stretch out pretty commonly. So I think that that's just going to be a continuing conversation about where the number is going to end up, basically. And the Nuggets, it would behoove them to trade years for money. Like give him 5 years if you can, and maybe get that AAV a little bit lower. If they can get it as low as $25 million, I think that's a pretty nice outcome for them.
That'd be a big win, especially when you consider the salaries and how high they are spiking.
And the key number is going to be the 26-27 second apron. Next year's second apron is what they're going to be up against, because that's when Aaron Gordon also has his raise go into effect. In addition to what you have to anticipate will be a significant pay bump for Brown. So I think they're looking at about 27 to 30 million in space below that future second apron, depending on where the projection moves on what that number will end up being. So it's an important number, and it's an important number as it applies to Peyton Watson too, who I think is less of a priority than Christian Braun, and is probably just not going to have the number offer that he wants to get. I think that's kind of where it's going to be at. And so I would not be as surprised if the season started without an extension for Peyton Watson.
Wouldn't you be fine with that if you're the Nuggets? Because you have team control after that, and you can match salaries if somebody wants to blow you out of the water with a deal. Or you can just let them walk, or you can do a sign and trade and go that route. We've seen what happened in restricted free agency this summer.
It's a grueling.
Feels like it's advantageous for the team, right? Like very advantageous for the team.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it certainly doesn't seem to be turning out to be advantageous for Kuminga right now in Golden State.
Right.
Or for Cam Thomas in Brooklyn.
Right.
I'm trying to think. Grimes still hasn't signed either. So the handful of people that this happens to, it usually ends up being a dissatisfying number for them at the end. And it gets complicated and in the weeds with some of that stuff with the qualifying offers. But I don't know. I could see the Watson extension happening. I could see it not happening before the season. So that's the one that I'm a little more fascinated by. With Christian Braun, I'm more fascinated just by the number. So.
Okay. Who do you think is going to be more emotional? Nikola Jokic after his horse wins a race? Or Bruce Brown walking back into that locker room? Seeing Nikola Jokic and everybody, his little jerseys hanging in his locker.
I guess I'll go with Bruce,
He'll cry?
Yeah. He's an introspective guy, yeah.
Okay.
He's got the highlight video on his phone.
That's right.
His old Nuggets buckets. So, yeah. Did he cry when he came back the first time as a Pacer?
I don't recall him crying. Aaron, do you recall him crying? I don't think he cried.
Cowboys don't cry.
He's going to be fired up for like his first cowboy hat and boots choice for the tunnel runway walk-in at Ball Arena for the first time. Yeah.
I couldn't believe Nikola Jokic's reaction to that horse race. It was unbelievable to see how it was like he had just won an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Except when he won an NBA championship, he was nothing like that.
I've given up on trying to predict when he'll respond emotionally to something and when he won't, because there have been NBA moments where he has responded very emotionally. The Golden State buzzer beater, obviously, like a pretty indelible image of him in his career, I think, screaming and being hyped up about that. The one-handed, 70-foot chuck he was completely nonchalant about last season, which, by the way, we're about to see more of those around the league.
Let me just say this. If you have to introduce a rule so that guys' field goal percentages are unaltered by taking a shot, that is an indictment of your players. That is a massive indictment of your players. You care that much about your numbers that you're not going to take one shot at the end of a half.
But counterpoint, those numbers get used against you in contract talks like the ones Peyton Watson is having with the Nuggets right
Do
now.
you honestly think those 10 missed shots have such a big impact on your shooting percentage?
If you're a low volume 3-point shooter, then yes. Like if you don't take a ton, if you're not Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray, like that can have an effect. Even Jokic, who took a lot of threes relative to other years in his career last year, it was about a 2.5 to 3% bump because of the heaves that he attempted. So, like, let's say you're Peyton Watson and you take that many heaves and you don't even go 2 for 22, which is crazy that Jokic made 2 of them.
He's not even going to be attempting that many in a season, right? Like, he might take 5.
I mean, now he will. Now, or I guess Watson is less likely to have the ball in those situations.
Yes.
But I think he will.
The guys who have the ball in that situation are usually stars.
Guys end up with the ball, though, in weird situations after rebounds and outlet passes with 2 seconds left and that type of thing all the time. Like, it's not just the point guard or the point center who has the ball because there's an inbound with 1 second left.
It's a terrible look for the players. It's a terrible look.
I understand that stance, but like, what if Peyton Watson had taken 15 heaves last year and his 3-point percentage was 5 to 6% lower for it?
I would say have an agent worth a damn who can point that out to the team in negotiations.
Fair.
Come on. It's a ridiculous stance. Nobody lost $10 million because they took a bunch of half-court shots.
Jokic is specifically privileged to be able to do it because he has to worry about money less than any other player in the league. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Not that, I guess there's a undercurrent of humor to the entire conversation because no NBA player has to worry about money that much. But
no. Devin Booker's going to be making $75 million a year pretty soon.
Sure. I'm curious for Jokic's thoughts on it. That'll be another fun topic coming up whether it's at Media Day or when he talks at training camp. It'll be entertaining to see what he has to say about that rule change.
Hey, Ron, you got any thoughts?
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right. Let's get to our wins draft here.
Let's do it.
So for those who don't know, this is a round-robin draft, and we will be going snake style, which means that if you're the third drafter, you get 2 picks in a row. If you're the first drafter, when it comes back to you, you get 2 picks in a row. Now, I don't believe we've figured out the drafting order here. Are we just going to go by who finished where last season?
I could randomize it right here on a screen in front of you guys so that we can all see it if you want.
I don't need to see it. I trust you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Here, I'm gonna randomize it. I'm gonna let you see anyway, so that I don't get accused of tampering. It says Matt 1, Bennett 2, Aaron 3.
Think I had 1 last year too, if I recall correctly.
You did.
And you know what?
I know. Yes. Yeah. Take your victory lap.
Hold on.
Even though you did not end up winning.
I mean, it was close. It was really close. Just again, a review. Last year, I finished second. Bennett won. Aaron with some controversial selections, if I remember correctly, ended up finishing third.
He had both New Orleans and Philly in the early rounds, I think.
It's tough.
I don't know if they were early, but the Philly one
early to
was
mid
a
rounds.
swing. I'm going to take New Orleans again.
Good to know.
You saw those Zion photos of him
Of
looking
course
slimmer?
I did. I've been combing through them.
Speaking of photos, how about those? How about God? Why can't I think of his name right now? Lakers.
Luka?
How about those Luka photos?
Does he look all that different? Am I crazy?
He's pretty svelte.
Yeah, he's looking ripped, man. No?
I guess.
Men's health.
I never felt like he looked like horribly out of shape or anything to begin with.
He was somewhat doughy.
A little bit, yeah.
He wasn't a toned individual.
His early season photos compared to what he was looking like, there's a difference. And now
All right.
he looks like a model. Got the LA effect.
Fair enough.
Hit the tanning bed, hit the gym.
Big year for everyone really studying the physique of players after their offseason regimens, I guess.
What a time. Hopefully we can do that with Jokic, too. I mean, we've been doing it every year. So, all right. I get first pick.
So last year, just to explain what I was talking about a minute ago, you took the Thunder first overall.
Correct.
And Aaron and I both ridiculed you a little bit, I think, for taking them over Boston.
Correct.
And it's not even that we were Thunder skeptics. Like I think we were all pretty much in agreement that the Thunder had a very high chance of going to the finals or winning the finals. But Aaron and I felt like Boston was a more obvious regular season sure bet number one pick.
And you were wrong.
And we were wrong. And sure.
So, with the first selection.
Hang the banner.
With the first selection, I will be drafting the OKC Thunder. Now, just to go through, no big signings for them. They lost Dylan Jones via trade to the Wizards. I don't even know who that is. And they re-signed Shea. They re-signed Chet to a 5-year extension. AJ Mitchell, 3-year deal. Jalen Williams, 5-year deal. Jalen Williams, 3-year deal. So they're running it back with the deepest, best team in the league. A pretty obvious number one choice. Ron, what's the over-under for the OKC Thunder this year?
62.5.
I think they're hitting that over pretty easily.
I would take the over. Yeah. Even though the West is deeper.
Unless Chet misses 55 games or something.
He missed some games last year and they did
that's
fine.
True. Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, like one of the best things that could happen to the OKC offense for the Indiana Pacers during the finals was Chet Holmgren taking a 3-point shot. That was good news for the Pacers.
Fair enough.
All
Does
right.
this mean you're taking Shea for MVP again?
I keep saying it every year, but I'm going to say it again. I think it's
Luka. Yeah.
I've said Luka 3 years
It feels like
in a
it
row.
has to happen eventually. Like it would be very strange for him to reach a certain age without having won.
And now he's in a big market.
I don't know if that changes that much about it.
Being a Laker, you don't think being a Laker matters?
Not about the MVP vote. Like a guy in Oklahoma City won last year and a guy in Denver won the year before that and 3 times in the last 5 years. So
doesn't matter at all, huh? Well, okay.
It's important from certain standpoints and perception and all that, but I don't think that the MVP vote, people are going to be torn between two guys and say, well, Luka's a Laker. So you're underestimating we voters a little bit with that.
You're number 2.
I'm taking the Cavs.
They were number 2 on my board as well.
I think these are the only 2 objective picks in the draft. Or the Thunder at 1, Cavs at 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could hear a couple different arguments for 3 and 4 and 5 and a lot of the stuff after this point.
Right.
But the Cavs won 64 in the East last year. The East is worse this year. They ran it back. I think that was the right decision.
Added Lonzo Ball as
Lonzo Ball in place of Ty Jerome. They just signed our friend Thomas Bryant the other day, in fact.
Oh, that's a nice addition. He was actually pretty good for the Pacers in the playoffs.
I know. He had a couple of huge games, including Game 6, the clincher against New York. So he has a very realistic chance now of getting to the NBA Finals 3 times in 4 years with 3 different teams.
That's wild.
So that would be cool for him.
Larry Nance Jr. also added.
Yeah. Good point.
They lose Isaac Okoro in that trade for Lonzo. I think Lonzo's an upgrade.
I agree. They lose Jerome in free agency.
Yeah. So I think
I don't see much reason for them to be worse other than, injury variance sort of stuff. And the East being as bad as it is, maybe there's even a slim chance that they win more games than OKC just by feasting on some of the bottom feeders in that conference. So I'm happy with that pick. You get 2, Aaron.
Well, I think I'll take the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
I think we discussed them at length, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all know what's going on with the Denver Nuggets.
Pretty solid upgrades.
You guys questioned me last year when I took them 4th overall.
They just had a hell of an offseason.
I know.
They're like way deeper.
It's a different year.
I'm just reflecting on last year because the reason I like them as one of the top picks in this draft is because as long as Jokic is healthy, they are one of the highest floor teams in terms of regular season wins.
They're winning 50 games no matter what.
In the league. So like they could have a bad season. They could fire their coach in the last week of the regular season and win 50 games. Yeah. And that's what happened. And so I think that my pick justified itself, and I think that's the real sound case for them.
They have legit backups at every position.
Yeah.
And sometimes multiple legit backups at some positions. It's the best roster they've had since they went to the finals, and it might even be a better roster than they had when they went to the finals.
Fair enough. What's your second pick?
My second pick was between a Western Conference team and an Eastern Conference team, and I think an Eastern Conference team's going to feast. I'm going to go with the New York Knicks.
So,
couple East teams you could have gone with there.
Just so you know, this has gone, according to my big board, almost exactly. I did have the Knicks ahead of the Nuggets because they are in the East.
Yeah, that's fair. I basically had them. I had the Nuggets higher, but I would have thought long and hard if I was in that 3 spot. I wouldn't have because I would have just had both of them. I guess it didn't matter to me that much.
Take both, you're fine.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy 4 right there.
Yeah.
Especially after news from earlier this week, which we will get to.
And I wanted to honor our listeners by taking the Nuggets just ahead of the Knicks, since I had the option. Didn't want to drop them. The drama didn't need
pandering to the crowd. I like it.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Magic.
I had them high on my list, too.
The Orlando Magic?
The Orlando Magic.
You sure about that?
I'm very sure about it.
Okay.
That's who I was taking next.
Wow.
I feel pretty good about them winning a lot of regular season games. Speaking of big market perception, I'm not sure they're that much worse than the Knicks from a roster standpoint, but we look at the Knicks a certain way because, one, they did just go to the conference finals, but 2, they're the Knicks. I just like Orlando. I like their entire lineup. I really like Suggs if he's able to stay healthy. I believe in Tyus Jones as a cheap free agent acquisition. They get Desmond Bane in there. Like, I don't know. I feel good about them. And again, I feel inclined to lean East teams over West teams when I feel uncertain about things in this draft. Just because if it comes down to 1 or 2 wins, I'd rather have my teams playing against Brooklyn and Charlotte than, Denver and Portland and San Antonio and everyone in the West. So
they haven't done it yet, I guess is my. I mean, that's a big Desmond Bane faith pick right there. They still don't have a lot of
faith in most of the people in their rotation.
They still don't have a lot of shooting. Even adding Desmond Bane, the shooting is, I would say, subpar. Yes, they're a good defensive team, but can Suggs play more than 50 games in a season?
I'm hopeful that he can.
Yeah, he's done it once.
I have belief.
Okay.
At the over-under win chart that I'm looking at, they're actually the 6th highest rated team at 51.5.
51.
One of the other teams I was considering, like, you can speculate about the health of the point guard of the team I took, but I don't have to speculate about the health of the point guard of another team I was considering because I know what his health situation is.
Which brings me to my next pick. I'm taking the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
So you make a good point. They just lost Fred Van Vliet. Yeah, I can't pronounce today. To a season-ending ACL tear before the season even starts. That's rough.
Yeah. That's likely season-ending technically, but
Yeah, come on.
It's an ACL.
It's an ACL tear. You're not playing.
Yeah.
And that's all well and good, but a couple of things here. One, they have added in the offseason Kevin Durant. He's pretty good, although not great for your locker room sometimes. Dorian Finney-Smith, I like him. I think he's a very good player. Josh Okogie, he's fine. Clint Capella, I don't know why they did that. That was a head scratcher, but okay, they're loaded at center.
Giannis trade. That's why.
And J.D. Davidson. Here's the other part of this. They still have a bunch of future first-round picks. And
that's going to help you a ton with getting wins in the 25-26 season.
If I want to trade for a point guard right now and I'm Houston, do you think it would really be that hard for them to bring in an interesting and good player? Like, let's say you went to the Boston Celtics and you said, you know what, I'll give you 2 first-round picks and flotsam for Peyton Pritchard.
Is he worth that much?
He was the 6th man of the year last year.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. And if you
I'm
add,
not like super high on Pritchard. That's not. I don't know.
We can do
I guess
this.
that's beside the point, though.
I'll give you 4 first-round picks, and you can give me our boy from Colorado.
Okay.
How's that sound? You think they'd be pretty good if they had him?
They would, but it's a lot of great what ifs.
But my point
Who's
is,
their point guard right now? Who's going to start at point guard for them?
well, it's with the Kentucky kid.
Reed Shepherd
Probably Reed
is going to be
Shepherd.
their starting point guard.
Probably, yeah.
That's kind of what my first thought was, and I was like, gosh, I don't want to take them in the top 5 then of this draft.
But here's the thing: they have so many assets to make a trade that they can get that player if they need to, and they probably will.
I guess you could have like Thompson as a lead ball handler more.
Yeah, you could. I guess do it with Kevin Durant. I wouldn't want to do that if I were them.
Yeah, what was the complaint in Phoenix after the first year of Durant? Again, they needed a certain position, I think.
But they could make any number of trades with all of the draft pick assets. And what some of the draft picks they have? They have future Suns picks.
They have good picks, yeah.
Those are extremely valuable because you know who's going to be terrible? The Phoenix Suns for the next few years.
Okay. I look forward to you hanging another banner about drafting Houston's draft picks.
Do you think Boston would do that trade, by the way?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's...
Do you really?
I don't know.
God, why can't I think of his name right now? He's our local
Derek
boy.
White?
Yeah, Derek White. Sorry,
Man, you are rusty.
My brain isn't working today. He's a really good player.
He
And
is.
he's particularly a really good player to have next to Brown and Tatum.
It's hard to give that up knowing that you're still supposedly in a window once Tatum comes back. But gosh, anyone's available for a certain price, right?
Yeah.
Like those are good picks, depending on which picks those are.
Right. And they could send back all sorts of things.
Yeah. All right, who are you taking?
Next up, you know what? Lakers.
Wow.
That's right.
My gosh. I can't believe you would take them
That's
that
right.
early.
That's right. Let me make the case.
They weren't going to be there on the turn. You had to get them.
Oh my gosh.
Let me make the case. What's their over-under win total?
I bet it's higher than it. I mean, I guess they have a high ceiling, but like disaster potential with that team.
Of the teams expected to win in the 40s, they're number 2. Actually tied for number 1 at 47.5.
47.5. All right, so I'm going to make the case. 1, motivated Luka. He's looking svelte. He's ready to prove the Mavs wrong. He's looking pretty good. Could have an MVP season. We just talked about it. 2, motivated DeAndre Ayton. He's on a contract year. He's going to have to play well if he wants to get paid again. You know who plays well when he's motivated? DeAndre Ayton. When he's got a lot of money, doesn't go so well for him. But they've got him on a contract year next to one of the best lob throwers in the NBA and another guy who's pretty good at passing named LeBron James.
I hear you. I hear you.
So
There's just a lot of disaster potential.
Oh.
Ayton bad, Luka hurt, LeBron antsy.
old. Antsy and old.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, there's a lot to go there but then on top of that, you've got Austin Reeves also has something to prove. You've got potentially a comeback season for our guy from Oklahoma State, whose name, again, I can't...
Marcus Smart.
Smart. Mainly this is, I believe in Luka. I think a DeAndre Ayton season where he has to go earn a contract could lead to good things. I've seen that with the Suns before. And he's also surrounded by really good players. And LeBron James is and was an All-NBA player just last season. Still good. So, yes, he could get injured. And, yes, he could be really unhappy because he's not the guy running the show anymore. But, man, if it works out, like, they could be really good.
And he's right there at the tail end of his prime.
My goodness. What a pick. I was ready to laugh at you for taking a team that you so persistently hate on, and yet you went with the on-brand decision and went with the
I thought about it.
Other LA team, and so I'm going to take the Clippers. And
anything happened with them in the last few weeks?
They're going to rise above it, man. On the court,
Is Steve Ballmer going to be owning this team?
Kawhi's about to be so locked in. They've got the All-Star game coming to Intuit Dome. I'm just going to say this about the Clippers on the court. Easy to knock their age and their sort of stockpiling of these old guys, but at least they have a lot of old guys.
A lot of old guys.
Yeah.
They are just loaded with old guys.
They're pretty well equipped to handle injuries if they do happen, as they so often do to someone like Kawhi. So I just kind of feel good about them again with their floor, I think. Who knows what's going to happen in the playoffs with them? I'm not drafting them for the playoffs. I'm drafting them for the regular season, and I'm not drafting them for the future of their ownership saga either. So, yeah, let's go with the Clippers. I think they're going to win more games than the Lakers. So, yeah.
You excited about Bradley Beal?
Honestly, yeah. That's another relative to contract thing, right? Like
Can Brook Lopez still run?
I think Brook Lopez could be very effective for them, and he doesn't have to play as huge of a role as he did in Milwaukee, where there were games last year where he was like their first option offensively because Giannis was out and they didn't have anyone else on their roster capable of carrying them. Brook Lopez, like you can do some fun double big stuff with him and Zubats and have Brooks sort of space the floor more. At the very least, he's a good bench big for limited minutes. Like, yeah, they got plenty of stuff they can do.
Is it weird I'd rather have Norman Powell than Bradley Beal?
No, that's not weird.
Okay.
That's not weird.
I would rather have Norman Powell.
That's fair.
That's the
but
right
they were
opinion.
Yeah. But they were going to have to pay him, right? And gosh, I'm murky at this point on the details leading to that trade for Collins, but
and they probably don't have a shell company to give him an endorsement to make up for the money that he would lose in free agency. They probably are out of shell companies, right?
Aspiration might have a couple mil extra sitting in the warehouse. Hate all you want. They're going to win some games this year. I'm just saying.
All right. Yeah.
Aaron, you get 2 picks.
I'll take the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay.
I like both of your picks, but I think that's a better pick.
They got worse on paper.
They got worse on paper, but the Lakers are always a coin toss. And as much as Bennett and I love Kawhi, I'm starting to become uncertain of whether he actually gets through a season. I'm not ready to fully admit it yet, but he's a liability, sort of.
Come on.
From a health standpoint.
He was outstanding down the stretch last year and in the playoff series against Denver.
He was incredible.
He was not the problem
when he's on the floor. He's
series.
Incredible.
Yeah, when he can play, he's really good. You just got to make sure he gets some of that aspiration cash.
I mean, when he was able to play even a fraction of that season at the end, they went like 21-3 or something like that.
It's a big if, though, with him, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. They also have a bunch of guys, as I just laid out. The Timberwolves,
He's him and Joel Embiid are almost like in the same.
Is it a big if with Ant?
for what it's worth, if you're going to bet on Luka, like taking these next steps, I don't hate betting on Ant to do the same thing and using that as the basis for a
So
a
we agree the
Timberwolves
Clippers
pick.
was the worst of the 3 picks.
No, I think they're
We're in
deeper
agreement.
than the other. I think they're deeper and actually better situated for a good regular season than either of those teams. But I digress. What's your other pick?
What is Minnesota's over-under win total?
50.5.
50.5. There you go. Just so everybody knows, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is no longer around, and Luka Garza now with the Celtics.
Killer.
And their big addition was Johnny Juzang, which NCAA tournament fans will remember from an epic UCLA run many years ago. Julius Randle's back. Naz Reid is back. Joe Ingles, for some reason. I mean, I do think losing...
the decline of Mike Conley, something to consider.
Yes, I do think losing Alexander Walker is tough for them. But they've got young guys. Who was the guy that came in the playoffs that just like...
Terrence Shannon.
That guy was incredible in the playoffs.
Yep. Him and Rob Dillingham, they've kind of got their guys in the wings here, waiting to step in. So, okay.
Next up.
This is the 10th overall pick. We leave the top 10 after this.
Really curious if he's going to select who I have left in my top 10.
In your top 10, you say?
Yeah.
I better comb through this list then. I am going to take the Detroit Pistons.
Nice.
Detroit. So you don't think that losing one of their best shooters to a gambling controversy is going to affect them? That would be Malik Beasley.
That's
former
tough.
Nugget.
I would have thought about them with that.
I like Cade a lot. What are you going to do?
I love Cade. Love Cade. I think they're going to be good.
I think they're going to be a solid team again.
Duncan Robinson.
I'm betting on the Eastern Conference being
not a
weak
big
at the low end.
Duncan Robinson
Yeah,
guy.
neither am I. Karis LeVert.
I'm also not a big Karis LeVert guy either.
I had a couple Eastern Conference slated for the spot, but my gut said go there.
So they add those two and Javonte Green. They lose Tim Hardaway Jr., who was a contributor for them, and they lose Dennis Schroeder, who was also a contributor for them. And, of course, Malik Beasley is just hanging out there. Who even knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, interesting situation, especially if he's not in as much trouble as he was thought to be at first with the gambling probe.
Still murky.
Very odd.
We have no idea.
That's tough for Malik. His worst beat since that hotel lobby incident.
Your pick.
I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks. Come on, you can't have expected them to get back to you. I'm a little surprised they made it back to me. In fact,
I was gambling on them somehow getting back to me.
I thought about taking
They were
them.
the one on my 10.
They were the one
again,
of the two that I was about to go with.
I thought about taking them 8th overall with my last pick, and then decided that I could still maybe get them after the turn, and Aaron didn't fail me. So
I have it written here on my note for Atlanta. Trey headed back to the conference finals.
Oh wow,
they're making a run in the playoffs.
Well, we don't draft for playoff runs. We draft for regular season wins. That's
why I didn't take them.
There's a lot to like about their offseason. Obviously, if the offseason was the season, then we would be crowning them champions right now for rivaling Houston for the best offseason.
They add Nickeil Alexander-Walker. That's a nice addition. They add Luke Kennard. That's a fine addition.
I like that.
They add Kristaps Porzingis.
Great addition if he's healthy.
If he's healthy, fantastic addition.
Maybe the biggest if.
They lose Karis LeVert, Larry Nance Jr., Terrence Mann, Clint Capella, Georges Niang, and David Roddy, former CSU Ram. I like their offseason. I think they're going to be really good.
Yep.
I'm really disappointed that I don't get to have them on my squad.
I'm pretty happy to have them. Reese Shea after a year.
Yep.
Jalen Johnson coming along.
Yep.
say what you want about Trey, but
not a big fan, but whatever. He's surrounded by players.
Yeah,
that are gonna compliment
he's
him.
rooted to a very solid roster.
That works for him. They're going to be able to hide him defensively because of all the players that they have.
Yeah, I'm stoked to get them in round 4. So not too much to say. They just had a great offseason. We'll see how much they can prove it in a weak East.
This sunk me last year, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take Milwaukee.
That's early. Okay.
Too early.
I understand, this should be an East stacked draft in theory up to a certain point. But I think we might have reached that point.
Yeah, that's just desperate.
Because we've taken 6 teams now from the East.
I think that's just enough.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe.
This is tough. But you know what? San Antonio.
All right. Fair enough.
Wemby, presumably back healthy. They will also have a full season with their trade acquisition. Let's see. Let's just get to their...
This is either the moment where Matt won the draft or lost the draft.
So, De'Aaron Fox.
Maybe.
Full season with De'Aaron Fox. Whatever. Jordan McLaughlin. Bismack Biyombo. not really getting too excited about that. They lose. They get Kelly Olynyk, who I think is a nice addition. I like Luke Cornett. I think he's a solid backup. Yes, Chris Paul is gone, but isn't that fine if you have De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, they kind of have a surplus of,
yes,
sort of point guard creator
right
types.
And they just drafted the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah. Interesting roster. When I thought they were going to maybe do something a little splashier this summer, I would have been ready to take them higher in this draft. Instead, they're going a patient route, which is probably the best thing for them, honestly. But it made me a little less inclined to
let me just
jump
go back,
all over them.
Let me just go back to Milwaukee real quick because everybody just poo-pooed me taking Milwaukee. I just want to reiterate that Giannis Antetokounmpo plays for that team.
Who else does? Do they have 2 players on that roster anymore?
Bobby Portis is coming back, baby.
His brother's back on a 1-year deal.
Gary Trent coming back. Kevin Porter Jr., fine. I like Cole Anthony. Gary Harris. Does he have some years left? Miles Turner, I mean, if you're going to draw up a replacement for Lopez, isn't Miles Turner like a younger, better version of Lopez? He can shoot threes. He's a really good defender. He pretty much shut down Chet in the NBA Finals. Yeah. I like him as a player. I don't know. They're in the East. I think they can win some games.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are you going with? I think I know, but let's say it.
I'm between a couple of teams. And, the draft can be won in the middle.
Yeah.
And it can be lost in the middle.
That's true.
And so it's time for a home run swing. Let's go 76ers.
76ers! That is not who I thought you were going to take.
Who did you think I was going to take?
I'm not going to say. Wow. Wow. And you went after me for Milwaukee?
That's a worse pick.
Milwaukee has as much disaster potential, but with a lower regular season ceiling.
Who just won 25 games last year? As much disaster? They were just a flaming pile of garbage, the Philadelphia 76ers last year. And you're telling me that they have more disaster potential than that?
Look, we're halfway through the draft. It's not like I'm taking them 8th or whatever. This is my 5th pick.
I just can't believe the disaster potential comment.
Yeah, I like the upside. Embiid is healthy right now.
Does he play more than 40 games this season?
Probably not. Paul George, I just don't believe that he will be as bad as he was.
They usually don't get better at this age.
I know, but that was weird. Like, he was all NBA caliber the year before last. And I have a hard time thinking that he just permanently dropped off.
Here's how aging works.
I understand.
You get worse as you get older once you get into your 30s. That's how that goes.
They get McCain back. I like Maxey a lot.
Okay.
Edgecombe coming into the fold.
It's a nice pickup.
Again, it's the East. So why not? Why not? Like, let's just let it rip. It could.
What's their over-under
There's a
win
small
total?
chance that it wins me the draft.
43.5.
43.5.
And
That's around accurate for this portion of the draft, honestly. It's just that
under.
That's fine. It's just that with them, instead of the over-under representing they could be at 39 or at 46, it represents they could be at 52 or at 19.
You just justified the pick by saying the East after you told Matt we went too deep into the East already.
Yes.
I know. But
All right.
I kind of thought Matt might take a shot at the Sixers with one of those picks, honestly.
Not at this point.
That's funny.
I was teetering on it with one of my two picks,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I had two picks back
I figured
to back,
you.
so
I figured you were going to take him. That's a total Aaron pick.
it might have been Sixers Pelicans. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
All right, so
Are you going Pels now?
No, I'm gonna go with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay, that's who I thought you were going to.
That was the other team I was considering. But
I don't know about the pick, but there's not a lot left on the board.
The Warriors are as old, if not older, than the Clippers, and don't have guys if someone is hurt.
No, their depth is terrible.
So, like,
And they're going to have a grumpy player on their team.
They're gonna make moves.
I'm ultimately, like, as afraid for them almost as much as I am for, like, a team like the Sixers. And so, like, the Warriors are probably safer. I understand that.
They're
but,
definitely safer. You have Steph Curry on your team.
But it's not like they are not in a very wobbly, deeply fragile situation as a roster right now. And they technically still don't even have Al Horford on the roster.
We're all just assuming.
So, like, so sue me for taking the one in the East that, has a very slim chance of having an MVP caliber player available for half the season.
Next pick.
It's kind of tough with what's left. I think I leave a potential good get on the board for somebody, but I'm gonna go with Memphis.
That was next, actually. Funny thing. My top 14 have all been taken, and we've had 14 picks.
Nice.
Sensei.
So you had Philly in your top 14.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Except for Philly. Philly was not in my top 14.
My top 15. We've had more than 14
Yeah,
picks.
we have.
You're not doing good math.
Sorry,
We're
16.
My top 16 have been taken, in fact.
15 of my 16 have been taken.
15 of my 16 as well.
Oh gosh. I mean, we're starting to get into real mediocre slop.
I think there's a value in there somewhere. A couple of them.
Just make your pick.
I'll take the Mavericks.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Mavs.
I like that pick.
I do not.
I don't know that I like it that much either, but
Okay, I'm going to take.
In the position you got it at?
I'm going to take Indiana.
Okay. I thought about them, but then you reminded me that, no disrespect to Jay Huff, that Jay Huff is going to be their starting center.
Let's just go through what's going on with them. So they don't have Tyrese Halliburton for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
That's their best player. That's a tough loss. But who's their coach?
Sure.
Maybe the best coach, Rick Carlisle, maybe the best coach in the NBA?
Good coach.
You could make an argument.
He almost became an all-timer last year.
He was a torn Achilles away.
He kind of is an all-timer, I think.
What is it, like
for
four,
that run?
four
no
guys
matter
have
what.
won with two teams?
Right, and he was about to do it with maybe the two most improbable NBA championships in the history of the league.
That's insane.
So they bring in Jay Huff. That's their one big addition. Their losses are Miles Turner. That's a big loss. It's a very big loss. And Thomas Bryant. I just feel like
No, yeah,
he's going to figure something out with that team, and they're going to win like 42 games.
I believe in their infrastructure and their play style, and so I support the pick. I also believe that we're going to see a little bit just how valuable Halliburton was and is this season.
So I think my next pick comes down to two teams, and it's a tough one for me. This is a real tough one, but
Go with your heart. I know who you want to pick.
I'm going to take Miami.
Wow. Okay. Tyler Hero's hurt, you know.
Yeah, I disagree with that pick also.
Okay.
We're going with the Heat culture, which took a bit of a hit last year. The other team, I think, is going to get selected next, but this is me gambling on them wanting to win this year and having another very good coach. And they have players. Norman Powell's a good player. I don't know. I think they got depth. I like what they've got.
The specter of the Jimmy Butler situation is out of the way.
Yes, you don't have to deal with the Jimmy Butler nonsense anymore. Their big losses are Kyle Anderson, Kevin Love, and Duncan Robinson. I think you can overcome that. And the East stinks.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
They're sitting there at
I'm
37
loading
and a
up
half.
on East teams right now.
So am I. So I've made 6 picks, and I've taken 4 East teams, and I am not about to change that trend. I will take the Boston Celtics.
That was the other team that I was considering going with.
And I feel pretty good about that pick at this stage in the draft.
Let me
honestly.
tell you why I didn't pick Boston. I don't know if they're that interested in winning this year.
Yeah.
I think this might
Possible.
be a gap year for the Boston Celtics.
It kind of could swing either way for them. Like, I don't know. I think, Jaylen Brown, something to prove for him. They've got some good guys.
The roster was gutted.
Yeah. It could be tough. But I also think they could scrape together 42 wins in that East with Brown and White sort of leading them. And if that's how it goes, then I feel pretty good about them being my 7th pick.
So their big additions, Chris Boucher, who I like. He's a nice player.
Kind of a perennial recent will they, won't they Nuggets guy.
Yes. Luka Garza, fine. Anthony Simons. That's the 3 big additions. Their departures. Jrue Holiday, he's good. Luke Cornett, also good. Kristaps Porzingis, also good.
Basically won the title without him, though.
I mean, he had a couple of really good games in the finals.
He had like one good game.
He had a couple. He had a couple of good games in the finals. Georges Niang, whatever. But also not listed there, Jason Tatum, who is I don't care what people say. He's not playing this season. They're not going to rush him back for a lost season. They're going to let him sit out the year.
Maybe so. But maybe.
Would you bring him back?
Probably not. No. It
really
seems kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Unless they're like really overachieving somehow.
Right.
And his recovery is as miraculous as it seems to be so far. I don't know. It's probably best to wait. But, I guess I'll bet on Pritchard and Brown and White at this stage in the draft where, slim pickings at this point. So
they might trade one of those guys.
I think they were a pretty obvious pick for me at that spot, honestly. So 2 picks.
Yeah, you want me to use them?
Yeah.
We're in the bottom 10 now.
All right, I'm going New Orleans.
Wow. Okay.
Zion is so fit. He looks so good. I can't help myself. I mean, what a specimen. How could you not want that in that
We're
spot?
back.
We're back. I couldn't help myself. I think
Okay.
just pen that in every year. I'm
Great.
taking him.
Great.
And then I'm kind of torn on the rest of the mix. I'm trying to eke out a couple wins here.
I didn't know you were such a big Jordan Poole guy, by the way.
Huge Jordan Poole guy.
Okay.
Love him. Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. I'm going to take my my guy Devin Booker.
Wow. I would have waited on them.
I would have waited on them,
I would have as well.
but what am I going to do? There's not a lot left.
I could see that going south in a really big way this year.
Nah, Book's going to go for
Yeah,
38
yeah.
and a half a game. He's going to will him to 40 wins. We're good.
They, again, don't have a point guard.
They don't have anything.
They once again don't have a point guard.
They don't have anything.
They said, you know what we want? Lots of Charlotte Hornets centers. Let's load up on those guys.
They add Dylan Brooks, Jared Butler, Jordan Goodwin, Jalen Green, Nigel Hayes-Davis, and Mark Williams. They lose Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, Tyus Jones. That's some significant
Dylan
loss
Brooks,
of real estate.
Culture setter, Dylan Brooks.
Great.
Championship DNA in his family. His cousin was the goalie for DU's national championship hockey team.
There you go.
You got to ride with championship DNA.
I'm now torn on whether I go with a team I like more in the West or a team I like less in the East. And I just want to have fun and have teams that I like and want to see do well. So I'm going to take the Blazers.
It's not a bad pick.
Love that.
They were really good at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm.
They were a tough team to deal with, especially in Portland.
Defensively, Tumani Kamara was on my all-defense ballot. Avdia has obviously become a really effective player for them. I like Klingon. I think that he's going to keep developing and turn out to be a really good center. Maybe Yang Han Sen will be a legend. Who knows? Obviously, some veteran leadership into the fold with Drew Holiday, the kind of guy that I think can benefit them. I don't know if it's for the best for them, like as a franchise long term that they got Drew, but it's for the best to maybe get them a few extra wins at this stage in the draft for me. And then Damian Lillard's locker room presence, you know?
That's the only thing he's bringing.
Just a culture setter. Like the vibe will be great. So yeah, I like the Blazers with that.
You don't think they got worse with their departures
No,
relative
no,
to
I
their
don't.
additions?
I think they're better.
Better with Drew Holiday.
I think
than
Drew
losing
Holiday-
DeAndre Ayton and Anthony Simons.
Yeah.
I think getting Drew Holiday is good just in the sense of having a professional in your locker room.
Yep.
Who
I
knows.
think he's also a very good player.
Yeah.
I also want to see like Klingon play more. I want to see their other centers play more instead of Ayton. So
Yeah. I think a place like Portland is maybe the worst possible place to have someone like DeAndre Ayton. that there's very few
well, yeah,
situations.
when it snows, he's iced in. So you don't want him there.
All right. I got 2 picks. This is getting tough. I'm going to take Chicago.
These are 2 of your last 3 picks right here.
Yeah. Taking the Bulls.
The perennial 9 to 10 seed.
They're going to win 35 games.
I kind of think
32
they
and a
might
half.
suck. I kind of think this might be the year that they actually like tank marginally successfully relative to in past years.
They've never done that.
I know.
They just don't.
I don't know. I kind of
and-
just think they might be bad enough.
Listen, Josh Giddey looked really good at the end of last year.
Sure.
I love Kobe. I think he's a heck of a player. They were so fun to watch last year. They were just a fun team. I really enjoyed
That's a reach, but
their games
they were
against the
they were
Nuggets.
fun for a little while.
Those 2 games against the Nuggets were both
yeah,
like
they were fun to
eminently
watch playoff. But in one of them, Zach LaVine was spraying threes, so he's not on that
Yeah,
roster.
that's true. Zach isn't around anymore. But I just like their guards. I think they're fun. I think that's a really good coach. I think their floor is probably like 34, 32
I think it's lower.
wins.
I think it's lower than that.
All right.
Okay.
I do want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's two teams here
Mm-hmm.
that I think are fun. And there's another one that I think is the safe pick.
Yeah. But you want to choose teams that you can kind of root for during the
Right.
season that you want to root
Right.
for,
Charlotte.
Wow.
That's right.
I kind of coerced you into doing that because now I'm going to take Toronto next. But
The gamesmanship is at its finest at the.
but I knew that you were feeling the LaMelo temptation right there.
Let me just go
This is
through
what I did last year.
Let me go through their additions here. Pat Connaughton, he's a professional.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice addition. Mason Plumlee, whatever. Colin Sexton, a fine player. Spencer Dinwiddie, fine, whatever. They lose Yusuf Nurkic, that doesn't matter. Josh Okogie, whatever. The big problem, well, not the only, but the big problem with the Hornets is they don't have a center. I don't think they have a single center in their lineup. That's a bit of a problem.
They've been giving them away to the Suns over and over again. So,
But I like LaMelo.
respect. Yeah. Yeah. He's your Zion.
Yes. I like LaMelo.
Yeah. Brandon
Sorry.
Miller, maybe
Yeah.
things can keep coming together for
Right,
him.
right.
Yeah, I drafted them last year.
Well, and let's not forget Con Knipple. Ready to make some moves.
Of course. They are the Summer League champions.
That's
so
right.
you're buying high on them, that's for sure. Last year I took them like a couple rounds too early and said that they were my sleeper to get like a 9 or a 10 seed in the East, and then they were terrible. And I
think that's their ceiling this year, by the way. I think they could
Yeah, of
get
course.
a 9, 10, maybe even an 8.
everyone's bad enough that anything is possible. But I like Toronto's chances of being in that game way more.
Yes, probably.
So
I just couldn't bring myself to draft Toronto.
yeah. I mean, not a whole lot to be excited about, but we'll see how the Ingram, Barnes thing sort of works out for a whole season. And that might just be good enough to have 33 wins and lose to Chicago in that 9-10 game. So yeah, that's my 9th pick. There are 4 teams left, if I'm not mistaken, and they are. I think the Raptors are better than the 5th worst team.
There's Brooklyn, Washington, Utah, and Sacramento left.
How have we not? Wow,
I'm going to take Sacramento.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah,
I'm riding with
Sacramento.
CSU Ram.
I could have taken
CU legend
Sacramento.
Nate Clifford.
Do you think he's going to have an impact in this?
No, I just like him. Nice guy.
He is a heck of a guy.
We probably let Sacramento fall too far.
Way too far.
I
They got a good enough roster to win games.
He was the other one I was considering.
They're going to win 30 plus.
It should be noted, Aaron has a portrait of Nate Clifford from his high school days at the Vanguard School.
Yeah, back then he was built like Bennett.
That's right. Now he's a man.
Now he's an absolute unit.
Yes. Yeah. All right, what's your last one?
Maybe I should have taken them, but
I think that was the appropriate pick the last couple.
you aren't usually going to get a team with as many good players this late in the draft as
They
as
play in the
Sacramento
West
right
is
there.
the only thing.
Yeah.
It got out of hand with that New Orleans pick, and they just kind of went away, and the trend became to go with the worst possible picks.
I just wanted Charlotte, and I knew I wasn't going to get them as the last pick in the draft.
So I'm going to leave you guys
Portland
with
really bad.
2 of these 3
Yep.
bottom feeders.
I think there's a right pick right here, by the way.
I think there's a right pick, and I think there's the gut pick. 3rd team, All-NBA, Michael Porter Jr., Brooklyn Nets. Let's go.
No
26.5 PPG, 8.5 rebounds, and he'll get that 1 assist going.
Is Cam Thomas passing him the ball?
No one's passing. That's the beauty of the system. Just huck that,
Did
that
you
shot.
Did you see the team picture of their 5 non-lottery first-round picks at their media day the other day? because for some reason a handful of teams did media day like a week early.
Yeah, that was weird.
It looked like a high school team, like this group of guys who were taken in the 20s. The Wizards were the right pick.
They were.
I think.
I think the Nets are going to play a lot like Grinnell College and just huck it up and be averaging 175 a game. Good luck keeping up with the output.
I actually like some of the what the Wizards have going on.
So just so we know, I'm stuck with Utah.
Yep.
At the end there.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
You're welcome to them.
I have to take them. There's a chance I have the two worst teams in the league, Charlotte and Utah.
That is very possible.
But I just wanted Charlotte. I'm sorry.
So
I played Utah to last place in the previous draft, so good luck with them.
So I have 3 West teams and 7 East teams. Matt has 1, 2, 3. I guess Matt has 5 and 5 because he took a lot of the West up top.
Yep.
But that leaves Aaron with 7 teams from the West
Correct.
and 3 from the East.
I got
And
good
just-
East picks. Those are
just
value picks.
Going on instinct, to me, that says back-to-back last place finishes for Aaron.
You'll be buying donuts again this time next year.
I feel like Bennett is often in the position to prop up his draft boards.
I mean, you can prop... What do you mean? We all have a microphone in front of us. You can prop up your picks all you want.
I don't need to prop him up. My work speaks for itself.
Okay.
Your last place finish last year? Is that what it seems?
Look, this is a league of parity, and a team always goes from last to first.
I enjoy the late round picks because, it's kind of fun to see if you can have like a 5 or 6 win swing in any of those. I also could be set up for disaster with the Sixers and the Mavericks, I think, in the middle rounds.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, the Mavericks are a total mystery to me. I just don't know what that's going to be.
I don't know either.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, does Anthony Davis play more than 50 games? I don't know. That's a gamble. And if he doesn't, are they any good if he's not playing? Because they don't have Kyrie. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Magical rookie season for Flag. D'Angelo Russell
I like Flag.
has something to prove.
I like Flag, but I don't think he's like winning you games as a rookie.
Captain Clay.
LeBron James wasn't winning you games as a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was really good as a rookie.
In theory, I enjoy thinking of Flag at the 3, AD at the 4, Lively at the 5. That's a really good front court.
All going according to plan.
Even without Kyrie, obviously that's going to hurt them a ton offensively. And then you kind of patch it together with D'Lo and Clay, I guess, and whoever else in the backcourt. But
all right, so I'm just going to on the fly make a tiebreaker here. Champion. We all have to pick a champion, and let's go in reverse order on that. Let's have the 3 be the 1. I'll be last.
You just wanted to see Aaron pick without the influence of our picks first because you wanted to see if he would do something off the rails like New Orleans.
I don't need your influence to make my pick.
Yeah, but I think if we both sat here and said a reasonable team in front of you, then you would be like, okay, I'll take a reasonable team. But you're a little more likely to go AWOL here.
Who's your champion?
I'm going to take the Nuggets.
Oh, okay. All right. Actually, I think that's a fine pick. I don't know if that'd be my number 1 pick, but I think that's a very good pick.
We're just picking one team, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is
It's
only
them or OKC, and then maybe one of the East teams battles them out through 7. But I think it's one of the 2 West teams.
This is only if
it's a tiebreaker.
If we have the same exact number of regular season wins. So very unlikely to come into play.
Yes.
I think I know who you're going to take, and I'm just going to go with my first round pick like Aaron did. I'll take the Cavs. Why not?
You're really just going to leave OKC for me?
Go for it.
Yeah, please take it.
Does it have to? Do we have to take 3 different teams or
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, why not? I'll take the Cavs. And now we all have our first round picks as championship picks as well.
OKC. It'd be more fun to do something like the Lakers.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't. They're not winning a championship.
I could have gone Orlando.
In the event one of those 3 doesn't win and we unlikely end up in a tie, What's the tiebreaker at that point?
I have no idea.
MVP, Coach of the Year.
MVP coach.
We should have some safeguards in place.
All right, fine. MVP, Luka.
Jokic.
Donovan Mitchell.
What?
I don't know.
He said it. It's.
I'm not taking SGA.
Why?
I just don't think he can repeat. When was the last time a Canadian repeated, Matt?
If Donovan Mitchell wasn't going to win the MVP last season, there's no way he's going to win it.
He's
this
never
season.
winning it. I just don't think we're getting to a tiebreaker.
What? Yeah, I guess if you're sure. What?
I'm betting on no tiebreaker.
Yeah, you clearly are. Let's read our teams real quick.
Yeah, I can go through these. I got them all written down.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So yours truly, OKC, Houston, Lakers, Milwaukee, San Antonio, Indiana, Miami, Chicago, Charlotte, Utah.
I think your team hinges on Milwaukee and the Lakers.
Correct.
I think you took a lot of chalk in the middle,
Yes.
and
But
the Lakers kind of early
That was a big-
is the interesting swing pick.
I took
there.
a big swing
Yeah.
on the Lakers.
Yeah.
Took a big swing.
You think Miami-
that's a Luka swing right there.
Yeah.
You think Miami was chalk there in the middle?
Yeah,
I think the
7th round pick.
I
I
feel
think
like
the
a
floor
reach.
for Miami is pretty high.
I took Cleveland, Orlando, the Clippers, Atlanta, Philadelphia,
Philly.
Dallas, Boston, Portland, Toronto, and lastly, the Washington Wizards.
Aaron's picks.
Wait, can I hear your picks from Philly down to wherever?
Philly, Dallas, Boston, and Portland. Those were my 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th round picks.
Those are risky.
Yeah,
Philly's really
Boston's
risky.
definitely not, but
I think taking Philly ahead of like even Golden State or Dallas or Boston for that.
yeah, but I
matter.
got Dallas and Boston anyway, so
I think I lost last
Thank you,
season by
guys.
30 games as a result of picking Philly.
yeah, Philly and New Orleans were the pressure points that basically
My team exploded
Eliminated
on
you.
Philly. I can't
think
go
you
back
took
there.
you took Phoenix a little early as well. So it's Denver for Aaron. It's Denver, Knicks, Minnesota, Detroit, Golden State, Memphis, New Orleans, Phoenix, Sacramento, Brooklyn.
New Orleans and Phoenix are really funny back-to-back picks.
those aren't the middle of the draft where wins.
Yeah,
are
but
gonna
they
matter.
were your 7th and 8th round picks. They weren't.
These are 25, 30 win teams. Doesn't matter at that position. The whole middle of your draft was teams that could implode and tank the draft by 40 games.
Okay.
All right.
Minor marginal
What's going to be
losses.
what's going to be the worst pick on here? Like relative to where they were taken.
I think the Lakers has a chance to be that.
yeah.
I think Philly has a chance to be that.
Yep. There's a little bit of a chance Golden State could be that.
I took them a little high, but they're right in the beginning of my middle of the pack.
Aaron didn't really make a really bad pick until New Orleans.
I think it's a good pick.
Look, you've got this going for them. They have incentivized themselves to want to win with the Derek Queen trade in the draft. So they're probably not good enough to win, but they should actively want to win. They should not want to tank.
Derek Queen. I totally forgot about that. Okay. So we're going to wrap the show up. We haven't received any emails recently. So just so to know, if you email the show with your questions, email it to me, Matt Schubert, mschubert@denverpost.com. We'll take any and all questions. I have not looked at the iTunes reviews recently, but I do know the last time I checked, which was about a month ago, there hadn't been a new one in a while. I think the last one was Bennett's mom. I think we're still Bennett's mom last iTunes review. So
Off season for commenters.
Shout out Liz.
The Utah Jazz and Mo Bamba have agreed to a deal.
Big pickup. So glad to have the Utah Jazz. Bennett, good to see you. Glad you survived your appendix situation.
Yeah,
Michigan.
big win.
Nice.
Fun off season.
Well done.
What can I say?
Aaron, go break another record.
I will.
That's good.
Yeah. See you next week. Media Day, training camp. Fun stuff.
Going to San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. Always fun to spend a few days there. Great city.
Love San Diego.
Yeah.
I was just there.
Fantastic. The Padres probably won't be hosting a wild card series.
No.
It's a shame, but
No.
oh well.
It's also a shame. The Chargers should still be there. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one of
they
the
should.
great travesties in sports. Like, nobody in LA cares about the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Them not being in San Diego is a travesty. Just like the Sonics not being in Seattle and a number of other teams that have moved around.
I mean, when you have a chance to be in SoFi compared to Qualcomm, I think you take that deal.
I don't think Qualcomm exists anymore. I think they ripped it out.
It was a dump. No offense.
But they're just the second.
I know
tenant
nothing
there.
about it.
They're like the forgettable tenant at SoFi. Nobody
Yeah.
cares about them. They get to show up. play
People
a
might
game.
care in a few months, but
Justin Herbert looks pretty good.
yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us. We'll be back here again soon. Training camp coming. Preseason games. I believe Minnesota in San Diego next week will be their first one.
Yep. I won't be at that. I'm leaving before the game.
And then Vancouver after that, playing in Vancouver. Another great West Coast city that should have an engagement with us. So, thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be back here again soon.
Looks like we have another dragon, Master Ace, spitting the burning passion. It's about to be a catastrophe. Thought I was the only survivor, but at last we meet. Like the food vegans don't eat. I know you can see the infernal blaze. We would probably burn the stage and leave it with 3rd degrees. And inside of us is an eternal blaze, blazing eternally like a furnace. But it's so hot it's burning the furnace's frame. Your family and furniture isn't safe. Better evacuate, cause the skill we can calibrate reduces the chances of your survival if you ever try to retaliate. So dance to this recital so you can slowly gravitate towards us. Who needs a chorus when you're hotter than Earth's core is? No strings attached with no puppets, yo, we're cordless. I fly even when I'm hurt, yo, that's soaring. Your skill isn't apparent, it's an orphan. We proceed to spit the verse that takes your spirit and lifts it high into the earth's atmospheres. Don't come at my sphere of influence, you squares. I take a spear and put it through you, I raise the stakes. Ha, medium rare, you're the least of the media's fears. Why he's the reason the media's scared. Please be prepared to be impaired. Go see repairs, defeating people in pairs. Jordans, I thought I needed pairs to be compared to the people in pairs.
This is a journey into sound. A journey which along the way will bring to you new color, new dimension, new values, and a new experience.
Gather round hip-hoppers as if you're still living. Still got love for the game, I'm still giving and still driven. Like Diddy in the Maybach. I've been repping for the city since way back. All y'all rappers better stay back, cause you still can't find me. I'm a needle in a haystack, a rare breed sitting high up in the chariot. While y'all dudes getting high up in the Marriott. Well, consider this your wake-up call. If you're married to the game, it's the breakup call. And you ain't wearing a crown if you're not tearing it down. You clowns get found right there in the ground, 6 feet, dirt nap, that's because your shit's weak. I'm a giant, you a pipsqueak. Welcome to my kingdom, yup, the throne has an occupant. Read my name at the bottom of the document. Check the scroll, giving good times like Esther Roll. Peace to Keith E, God bless the soul. Trying to get more checks to hold. On some slick Rick, Mr. T shit, big chest of gold. And the flow still extra cold, like the North Pole, cocaine snow, another lost soul. Bow down, it's the Grand Royal, yup. 20 plus years in the game, and still the fans loyal.